Hi, Leo. This is your astrology reading for October. Um, for all Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Now, before I get too much into the astrology and so forth, I want to say, for one, if you're somebody who's not used to watching the videos and you're coming to me following it under, like, you know how, like I say, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, if you're following it under Venus, if you're coming because you're looking for love with Venus, that's not what you're going to find with me. Um, when I do it, Spirit typically has me look at Venus as sensitivity, not necessarily love. So if you're listening to it, that's fine, but understand that most likely I'm going to be looking at it under the sensitivity idea more than a love idea. And I won't be pointing it out in that way because that's not the way that it's shown to me. Just letting you know right up front. So if that's what you're after, go somewhere else. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be most likely the one you want to be listening to. With that being said, I'm definitely being given Scorpio energy with Saturn. That could be the third eye coming in. Third eye and actual communication, like third eye and throat. But I feel like this is more about listening to your intuition, trusting in yourself. Like a resurrection of self by setting new boundaries. But it may be also just the Scorpio energy in general over the month. Like I said, that's just what I'm getting at the moment. So we'll check it out when we get to the astrology. But I'm doing the astrology and I'm going to be going over all of the 12 houses. I am trying to put it in to approximately a half-hour amount of time. A couple of them I've had to go over. And if I do have to go over, I won't short you any of the houses. I'll make a second video. But I am trying to put them all into a half-hour worth of time. And at the same time, I'm trying to... I'm giving you it a little bit generically. And the reason I say that is because it is general reading for everyone. So I'm hitting all of the main important things and I'm going over each one of the houses, but I'm not really getting into the aspects and everything on that deep of a level. So if you are interested in your astrology on that deep of a level, something that's directed just for you, please look at the information down below and you can always book your own appointments with me for astrology, tarot, shamanic, so many different things. So you can always look down below if that's the case. But let's get right into the astrology in general. You have Pluto that is going direct on the 3rd. Now, let's remember, when Pluto goes direct, it's the only planet that, because you've heard probably so many other astrologers and things being said about Pluto finally going direct. But Pluto's the only planet when it's in retrograde and then it goes direct, is the only one that doesn't shift back outwardly, because Pluto is always inward. It's death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration, which is, reincarnation, more or less. It's a rebirthing of reincarnation for self, no matter where it is. When it's in retrograde, it's kind of like kicking in the door, going, I'm not taking this shit anymore. So when it goes into direct motion again, it finally starts to give you a break. It starts to slow down. But Saturn just went direct, and now they're coming closer together. So even though Pluto is going to start, settling down, Saturn's not really going to let it. It's still going to be pushing on the rules, laws, and boundaries, and the shifting that needs to be made, the new foundations that need to be created for it to move forward and for you to have learned a lesson. And they're definitely both still going to be in shadow for a while. So even though it's going to be pushing on those rules, laws, and boundaries, it's going to be definitely doing it also from a little bit of a shadow aspect. Now for Leo, because I'm a Leo as well, this is speaking to us of the 6th house. This is speaking to us directly of our everyday daily tasks, our daily patterns, our daily routines, our daily rituals, our mundane tasks. But like I keep saying to everybody, these daily tasks, routines, rituals also contain people, places, and things, and the energy that we consume from those people, places, and things within our daily routines, our daily rituals. And are they serving us? You are going to most likely have situations popping up that are definitely showing you where they're not serving you, because they're still in shadow. Even though they're gone direct now, they're still kind of going over their shadow period, going, did you quite understand this? Did you quite understand this? And trying to make you realize within those routines what you need to be shifting so that you can, set a new foundation of those routines, those rituals, as well as the people, places, and things that take part in them, so that it serves you better, because you're learning where it's not been serving you well. Also, on the 3rd, you also have Mercury, which is moving into Scorpio. Now, there's a whole lot of Scorpio going on this month. So when we get to that sign, I'll take a look at what it was. Since I was being told, I've got a lot of Saturn energy and a lot of Scorpio specific energy is what Spirit is pointing out to me. We'll check them out when I get there. The 8th also has Venus moving into Scorpio. I'm sorry. The 4th has Mars moving into Libra. The 8th has Venus moving into Scorpio. The 13th is the full moon in Aries, and we'll go over that as soon as we get to Aries on our chart. The 23rd has the sun moving into Scorpio. The 27th is the new moon in Scorpio. And then on Halloween, Samhain, it is going to be a powerful day, not just because it's Samhain, but because you're going to have the moon, Ceres, and Jupiter all pretty much within like the same few degrees, like 2-3 degrees in Sagittarius. So that's going to make a major power energy itself with the moon on top of those two. And all month, those two are coming together. You have a Libra, even though most people are saying until the 23rd that this is Libra season. Libra has collective consciousness, which is Haumea in it, making Libra really view things from a whole different point of view because of Haumea being there, seeing the real true collective consciousness of it, as well as make. Where are you on the level of the lotus flower? Vista is in retrograde. That's the home and the hearth. So the inner soulfulness is in retrograde itself. Then you have Pallas, which is in Scorpio. And you have Ura, which is in Virgo. So let's get a look at what's going on here. When we pull it up, we don't have anything going on in the universal first house. But part of the reason why us Leos are the way we are is we have 2 of the guardians in the pole in Leo. So this is speaking to us. The guardians of the pole carry, and 2 of them there, they carry the energy of the sun. They carry the energy of Saturn's rules, walls, and boundary, and they carry the energy of Venus. So we're always very particular about our rules, walls, and boundaries. We're very sensitive about it, and we're very much ready to illuminate the situation at any given time. That's part of why we roar. It's part of who and what we are. We're definitely seeing that coming through with our self-awareness, our physical body, our personal appearance, our identification, and our image of who and what we are. But I feel like we're definitely being shown new levels of who and what we are because we're shifting them because of all of this Saturn energy that we've been feeling this year. And I feel like the Saturn energy is definitely still making its impressions on the guardians of the pole, which then brings it back to our very self-awareness. So letting you know right off the bat, there's nothing there other than the guardians of the pole that never leave. I just feel like they're very much still in power and illuminating us to acknowledging levels of who and what our awareness is of ourself and our identification. Now, in the second house, Our universal second house is Virgo. That happens to have Jura or Jura in it. This is our self-worth, our self-value, our self-esteem. But this is also where we create and spend our money. This is a very good thing because Jura being here is asking you, where in the world is the commitment to your very self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem? Jura is sacrifice and commitment. She's the wife of Jupiter, the wife of the abundance that's able to contain all of that understanding. So she's what I call love. She is not the ooey gooey, soft and chewy when we first met. Yay. She's the one that sticks around and made it work. Okay. And she's in the house of self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, which helps put you back into your proper flow. If you're really being honest with your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Getting on board with that, getting more right with your awareness of that. That's going to put you into a new level of flow of bringing that money to you because that's the universal second house. She's sacrificing commitment to you at this time. And what does it take to be committed to you at this time? She's going to be projecting that on us all month long. So that's a good thing. Then we have the universal third house, where we have the sun and we also have Venus. No, the sun and Mars in Libra. This is our third house of communication. We automatically want to make harmony and balance and justice in everything we say and do. We want to make the conversation makes sense and we want to make it understood. This is part of who and what we are, with Libra being our second house, because Libra is all about harmony and balance and justice. But you have the sun here and you have Mars here, which is illuminating the inner warrior and the inner sacral chakra, the inner personal belly dancer of being comfortable with who and what you are, and then being able to stand your ground with conviction. This is definitely coming forward. Like I said, it's that inner sacral chakra, being able to create yourself in a new way and illuminate yourself and bring shine to what you are trying to communicate. It is your intellect, your details, your idea, but it's also your, the delivery system, the visits, the phone calls, the neighbors, the siblings, the short journeys, the gossip. It's communication in all of its glorious form. The sun being here with Mars is asking you about your passion, your action, your aggression, and your fire. What is your truth? Backing up the sun being there until the 23rd with even more fire. So you're definitely ready to speak your mind. But this is also the communication house ruled by Mercury. Mercury is going to go retrograde at the end of the month, meaning communication will also start to be seen a little bit on a shadow aspect come approximately the 14th, 15th. So this is also telling you might want to watch your word vomit and make sure that your throat chakra is clear. Make sure that you are speaking your truth, but that you're also being willing to hear someone else's truth and what that really is trying to tell you in communication. Because you're going to probably be acknowledging a little bit of those darker aspects within that house until Halloween, when it is retrograde. And then it's only talking to you. It's not necessarily dark anymore. It's just talking to you. Your fourth house is Scorpio. Now, this is where Spirit was saying, I was getting the Scorpio energy and the Saturn energy. This is our inner emotional security. So this is being sensitive about our inner emotional security. Sensitive enough for reincarnation. For birth, death, rebirth. By getting to know the true roots of ourself. The true depths of ourself. Our karmic lessons of ourself. So that we can get right with the depths of what really creates the personal foundation of our inner emotional security. For us, it's in Scorpio. Well, Scorpio got a lot going on this month. It's got Pallas here. It's got Mercury here. It's got the sun here. Don't forget, Mercury's going to go retrograde at the end of the month on Halloween Day. But prior to that, it will be going into shadow in your inner emotional security. Also, your universal fourth house. That's the home. So it's the home of everything, but it's also the home of who and what you are. About getting into the depths of you and creating that inner emotional security by understanding a higher level, a higher spiritual soulfulness. Stepping outside of yourself and into the oneness is what this is about. Illuminating ascension. And the very sensitivity that takes with the magic of reincarnation, of finding that inner emotional security, as well as the security of the home itself and all that is involved with the home. Pallas is here asking you, trying to lead Mercury's confusion as it goes from direct to shadow to retrograde. It's going to be, Pallas is going to be trying to direct it with strategic thinking, which is a damn good thing. Because Venus is going to be here getting sensitive in Scorpio. Okay? Venus is all about your sensitivity. I always say if you put your hand in a hot oven, cook it at 365 degrees, when you burn the shit out of your hand, that is Venus saying, don't do that shit. It hurts. But when you're all ooey gooey, soft and chewy with a brand new relationship, that's also Venus. She tells you what you love. She tells you what you like. She tells you what you hate. And she tells you why she hates it. Okay? Venus is all about helping us to understand why we feel the way we do. Mercury is communication, going through all of this confusion. And Pallas is Athena, the warrior goddess, with strategic thinking, trying to help us logically understand everything that we're going through and how that is going to give us karmic lessons into the reincarnation of ourselves and the actual home. You're going to be feeling that throughout the whole month. And then the sun comes in on the 23rd, illuminating even more. Okay, so, I'm just giving you it. Now you have the 5th house is our pursuit of pleasure, where our inner child lives, our creativity, our enjoyment is. And this is where Sagittarius is. This is where this is Sagittarius with Jupiter right now. And this is illuminating what we enjoy and what we don't. How we are able to express our creativity. And are we having time to play and enjoy life? And allow our inner child to remember what it's like to enjoy and play. Without play, we can't create positivity. We can't create balance because we have to be able to have balance. So that universal 5th house is illuminating it because Jupiter is here. But on top of Jupiter being here, Ceres is coming closer and closer and closer. Ceres is the threefold theory. She's karmic energy. But she's also teaches you everything you need to know about what you nurture and what you've neglected. So she's going to be speaking to you about where you're neglecting, not getting right with your pursuit of pleasure, your play, your fun, your creativity, which ultimately leads you back to you and your inner emotional security. So all month she's going to be coming in, speaking to you about, are you getting right with this energy or are you not? Are you neglecting it or are you nurturing it? And on Halloween Day, when the moon sits on top of it and shows you the subconscious, it's going to illuminate it. All right, so that's a very positive thing unless you're just in full-on denial. It's helping you know the steps you need to take to allow yourself to enjoy, to play, and enjoy life. Get back to inner emotional security. It's helping you. Now, in the 6th house is where we might have been having some of our more situations, because this is where Pluto and Saturn is. Again, this is our daily routines, our daily routines, our daily rituals, our everyday mundane tasks. And I say all the time that universal 6th house, which also deals with our health and our diet, our hygiene, and how we care about ourselves. It also speaks to us of the energies we consume, our people, places, and things that are part of those patterns, rituals, and daily routines. Are the people, places, and things serving us? Because we're devouring that energy of those people, places, and things. So is it healthy energy for us? And then is it helping us to enjoy our life and bring us back to our inner emotional security? Are the routines healthy for you, working for you, or working against you? You have Pluto and Saturn here. I said I was being given a whole lot of Scorpio and a whole lot of Saturn. This is asking us if we have the right people, places, and things and the routines that support us in healthy ways. And if we do or if we don't. What about these routines do we have to shift and change so that we have time for play? We have time for our inner emotional security. We have time for ourselves and to experience enjoyment. Are you making time for that or not? Is other people pushing you to do things that aren't serving you? Daily routines and the energy that you consume within them is going to be showing itself. Pluto and Saturn just went direct and are definitely still going to be in shadow, speaking about where you're not being able to touch base with that and where you've probably lied to yourself because the South Node is there and told yourself that this, and this is acceptable, but you're starting to find out that this, and this are not. Now, when you hit the 7th house, we don't have anything in the 7th house at this moment. So we don't have anything going for us or against us in the relationship zone. It's Aquarius. This is where we're a little bit more ballsy, a little bit more bold within these relationships. And there's nothing wrong there. We're a little bit more able to be ourselves because it's ruled by Aquarius. It's where we kind of get that energy from. And that's a great thing. But there's nothing going for you or against you at this time. So your relationship zone and how you feel about them pretty much are exactly the same as any other time. There's not being influenced other than by the energies of what's going on in your inner emotional security, your inner happiness, and the routines, and what you're seeing within these routines and your play and your inner emotional security, which happens to lead you to what kind of relationships you want and what you're paying attention to so that you make sure you're attracting the right ones. Now, within the 8th house, this is Pisces. This is where we're also having another learning energy going on because Pisces has Neptune in retrograde right now, but it also has Lilith with it. This is a universal 12th house. So it's a universal ending cycle for healing of self-sacrifice, self-undoing, secret sorrow, shame, and blame. This is where we accidentally allow ourselves to get walked on because we care about people and things, and we're compassionate. This is where we want to make the relationships good, and we end up being a little too giving, and sometimes we end up giving more than we get. And this is asking us in this time, what is the joint efforts, the joint resources, the joint finances? Is there balance within these relationships? So is justice truly being made within these relationships? Will we get a transformational healing balance out of the relationship? But this is where Neptune is asking you, well, have you learned from any of your past? Because Neptune is like fantasy smacks you in the face with reality. Neptune is kind of like the video. You're watching the video right now and it feels like we're talking and I'm having this conversation and I'm sitting here and I'm telling you all of this. When in truth, by the time you're watching this video, God knows what I'm doing. Okay? So, I mean, it's an illusion of an idea. Fantasy is. Neptune is. And where will you take that illusion? Are you going back into nostalgia and holding on to that illusion, that idea, that memory, whether it's truly the right memory or not, or the one you're creating? And are you going to bring it forward and try to continue with it? Or are you going to look back, try to see the truth, learn right from wrong, and then start to create again in a new healthy way? Lilith is here asking you within these relationships to have some balls, more or less. To have some balls to be able to stand in your power, stand in your sacral chakra, believe in yourself, feel good about yourself, and stand your ground. Be creative enough to have the balls to do so that you can make sure that the relationships are fair and balanced. So if you're doing it right, you're not holding on to the past, you're learning from the past, but you're getting a little bit more oomph of being able to stand in that power. Now, our universal ninth house happens to be where the full moon is going to take place. Where the full moon is going to be taking place on the 13th. This is our higher self. This is getting right with our ethics, our morals, our spiritual urges, our dreams, our psychic energy, our intuitive self, our difference between understanding religion versus philosophy, and where our higher soulfulness takes us. And right now you have Eris in that universal ninth house and Chiron, wanting to learn from the mistakes of the past, wanting to heal from the mistakes of the past, wanting to understand where injustice has been served to you on a soulful level, from the depths of your ethics and your morals, and learning how to overcome that on a new spiritual, soulful level. So this is definitely a positive thing that's happening for us at this time. But like I said, it can also connect with ego very easily because Eris is here, which I call Medusa, which is, trouble, toil, strife, and where injustice was created. So are you holding on to the injustice ideas, or are you letting go and you're actually starting to move forward and illuminate and move up? This is connecting with ethics and morals and spiritual truths. If you're connecting with that and you're not denying your inner truths, then you're coming through this just fine. And Chiron will be helping you to move forward. As you come into the 10th house, this is where we're starting to find more of our independence, our individuality, our uniqueness, our freedom, our self-worth, our self-value, our self-esteem, our soul fire that's speaking to us of who and what we are in our honor, our reputation, our prestige, our professional career, our social foundations that also support our financial success. This is also where it's speaking to you of the authority and responsibilities of the outer world, asking you to really stand up and be unique and be who you are and show that you are powerful enough to be who you are, and trust the soulfulness of who and what you are, because you're able to touch base with your self-worth, your self-value, and self-esteem to ignite that inner fire from within and allow the people of the world to see who you are, and that you can be the authority of your own responsibility, of your own life and your own career and your own outer community. So that's a very positive thing moving for us right at this moment. The 11th house doesn't have anything in it, so I would say that energy from that 10th house is going to move right on into that and support with those goals, dreams, ambitions, and making sure that the people that are supporting, the people that are in our life, that are in our outer community and a part of the outer authority of our outer community, as well as our friends, groups, community, large groups, memberships, are all supporting our goals, our dreams, our ambitions, our reputation, and our honor. At this time is what I would say you're going to be noticing all of that time. Now, our universal 12th house is speaking to us of our subconscious. That's our hidden self, our unconscious depths, our self-deception, our self-sacrifice, our self-undoing. It's our skeletons in the closet, and where our skeletons in the closet have skeletons in the closet. It's our grief, our secrets, our sorrow, our shame, and our blame that we hide from ourselves because it's easier to not have to heal it. But this is about healing it. Because the universal 12th house for us is Cancer. We tend to nest in it, actually. We tend to go back and get emotionally caught up in it. But the North Node being here is asking us, what about this do we have to heal and accept and understand and forgive ourselves for in order to move forward? Because without healing this, we can't move forward. Which brings me all the way back around to jumping back into Scorpio, because that's where the new moon takes place. Taking us right back to our 4th house, our inner emotional security. Our inner emotional security, our roots and our depths of our true, real selves. Returning to who we've always been, but we forgot who we were. Our karmic lessons, cleaning the slate of that 12th house. Finding a reincarnation of ourselves and allowing our inner child to grow and strengthen again, so that we are able to start a brand new goal and a brand new beginning as we come into that new moon on the 27th. And then we have Samhain coming right in with Mercury going retrograde. And like I said, Jupiter, Ceres, and the moon coming together in Sagittarius, which is our creativity, allowing our inner child to understand how to play, enjoy, and bringing us full threefold back to circle of true depths of self that turns around and just brings us back to joy.